Morning. We're gonna haul some corn today, but that is a sight for sore eyes. We're up 8 cents for fall beans. We're up 6 cents for fall corn. Love to see that. And for those of you that farm, you already know what I'm talking about, but we've been in a downward spiral for a hot minute, so it's always good to see some green on the screen. Well, we're finally on the last bin. I've got the intermediate sumps open there. We'll be kicking the sweep on here shortly, so good times. Almost ready to. Probably got a little over a semi-load left in there. This is just a 24-foot bin, so there's not much in there. But yeah, we'll get that sweep going here in a second, and I don't know, it sounds like we're gonna have about 200, 300 bushel left in the bin, and that's gonna be about it. So, hate to make a trip just for that. I may not run it down to ADM. I may just haul that locally and just get rid of it there. Around and around we go. Where it stops, nobody knows. Last load going right onto the barge. It feels good to be done. Contracts are all filled, life's good, bills are paid. Time to basically farm another season and rack up a bunch more. Got the last little bit loaded up, even a 5-gallon bucket of just random crappy corn that I scooped off the ground and whatnot. Not much in here, mostly trash anyways from the floor. So yeah, that'll make good cow feed. I don't know. I don't even know if that's 100 bushel, but it's gonna work well for what I'm doing with it. We filled all of our contracts. I'd be spot pricing this little bit, and I'm not driving 60 miles down, 60 miles back for that little bit. So cow feed it is. Well, it's been, I don't know, about a month and a half, and we finally got my truck back. It's all spick and spam. Brighamans did a really good job on it, as they always do. But I didn't show it on YouTube. I don't think I've even mentioned it, but last day of harvest, we didn't strap the draper down, and I was like, we're just moving a mile, it'll be fine. Well, it wasn't fine. It slid into the tailgate, and it got the tailgate, it got the bed, it got a whole new bed put on it. New tailgate, new camera, new everything. So hopefully we can make it home with 3 miles to go. We'll see. Morning. I had some old sidewalk at the house that we tore out before we remodeled, and it was just sitting in a pile. This step is off our old front porch, and it was always a big step to get up in the grain bins, and it's been muddy here, so I repurposed some of it. It's not beautiful, not professional, but it serves its purpose. I cracked that one moving it, but whatever. You don't have to make a big step now to get up here, so good enough for who it's for, we'll put it that way. But I'm gonna just do some odd and ends around the farm today, like level this up and get it tilled up and seeded into grass, because, well, it's a mess, really. This end here is just gonna get the heavy dose of Fucadol and whatever else is in the sprayer tank. Roundup, 2,4-D, Germaxone, Dual, Atrazine. Give it the works, basically, so none of this grows, because I don't like to weed eat, and I don't like how things look when they're grown up, so that's what we're gonna give it. A little bit of a side quest of a project today. We rented a straw blower, and I've been spreading straw and seeding the yard at the farm. Got a little bit here to do at the house, but mostly at the farm. So without further ado, we'll get after it. So far, I've got most of this seeded and strawed around the new grain bins, but we still got quite a bit to do. So hopefully it all comes up. It'll look a lot better than it does right now. Well, several $100s in grass seed later, we've got all that strawed, all that strawed, all that strawed, all that strawed. We went through a lot of straw today. I probably busted at least 100 bales open today. They were cheap, luckily, because I put them up, so I didn't have to pay for them, kind of. I had fuel and labor in putting them up, I'm sure, but that was last year's problem. But hopefully it all comes up. I don't know, it was 76 degrees today. Soil temp's about 60, but it's supposed to dip back down in the 30s of a night here in the next coming week or so. But if I didn't do it right now, it wasn't gonna get done because the weather would have turned nice and I would have been planting corn and soybeans. So it was kind of now or never, because if you do this in the summer, the chances of it coming up is slim to none. So it's done. Hopefully it grows. Morning. We're gonna do some brush cutting today, or at least attempt to. I've got a couple farms that have been overgrown for several years, just limbs climbing out into the field, some small trees and stuff starting to grow on the edges. So basically just gonna push that back a little bit. Not getting wild with it by any means, but basically just what the skid steer can handle. I might take the excavator there just to, take it with the thumb and grab some of the limbs that are higher up, but I think the skid steer is going to do 90% of what I want to do, so we're going to take it first and just see how it does and kind of go from there. I'm off to a bad start already. I went to grease the skid steer and the grease gun and completely blew apart. It's shooting more grease out the end than it is where it's supposed to be. And then I bought new fittings for the hydraulic hookup on the skid steer and the hydraulic hookup on the mower, because I got impatient last time and beat them on with the hammer, and I kind of jacked them all up. So got new fittings there, and the fitting on the brush cutter side is the wrong fitting, so gotta go back to town and try and find one of those. But we're at least gonna grease it first. I don't know if you can tell or not, but it's kind of crooked. It cracked right there. The camera won't focus, but it cracked right there on the seam, so junk. These Milwaukee grease tips, I'm less than impressed with. I love the grease guns, but the tips don't seem to last. And they're super expensive, and I replace them all the time. I had the Lock and Lube ones, which I like. I really liked the Lock and Lube ones, but there's just places that you can't, they're too big, or you can't get them into places. So I have a Lock and I've got like 3 grease guns, and I've got a Lock and Lube one on one of them, and it's held up pretty good so far. But there's a few things on the skid steer here on the front that it's just hard to get to with those on, so I'm using this new tip, and it's immediately locked on the first damn fitting I put it on. It's gonna be a day. Well, we finally get things ready to go, about loaded on the trailer, got the right fittings, and it's getting ready to storm. So that's fun. Yeah, that escalated quickly. Good time to eat some lunch, I guess. See what happens. See how this plays out. Just north of us, I guess it's absolutely cutting loose. They're getting absolutely dumped on with rain right now, and I'm hoping we don't, because I would like to start killing off some of this rye, given the opportunity. But we'll see what happens. We may have missed the storms earlier, but by God, round number two is coming in with a vengeance. So I'm actually concerned enough that I came back down to the farm to park everything that was outside inside and make sure every shed door I've got is good and latched, because this one's looking gnarly. I don't know if the camera's picking up what's going on. I'll drop a picture. I'll take a screenshot of the radar right now, but we're in for a good one. And it's got that feel. It is dead calm right now. And it's kind of humid. And I don't know how to explain it. I don't really know how to describe it other than if you know kind of thing. Like, it's just that calm before the storm, but the sky is going wild. Everything's just fueled up right now, I guess is what I'm getting at. So yeah, we're making sure we got everything tucked away tonight. Everything we can tuck away, I'm tucking away. This sky it's wicked right now. This old Steiger here, she may not be new, she may not be pretty. Now, she's actually pretty, but she ain't the prettiest. But we're still gonna make sure that even she makes it in the shed tonight. If I could find a gear. There we go. I don't know, it's hopefully I can get some good shots of what it's doing. But that sky, it's lighting up right now. It's pretty cool. But they're getting some really big hail just northwest of us, and that's where this is coming from. Well, we're basically up against the wall there and up against the trailer there, so we're gonna call that basically in the shed enough. But I don't know, it ain't perfect, but it's gonna have to do. It's coming out of the west, that way's west, so should be okay. But I don't think we're gonna have to worry too much about the paint on this old rusty trailer. I don't know, that hail might do more damage to the deck than it's already had done. It's a pristine trailer, as you can see, but the important goods are pretty well in the shed. The tile might take a beating, but it'll live. But my God, guys, look at this. This is just, it's awesome. I love this stuff. This is, tell me there ain't a God when the sky does cool stuff like this. That's pretty cool. Oh yeah, it's cutting loose. Ain't very often you get this in March. Wow. Well, it's been a busy day today. I'm down to 4 rows left to put openers on. The rest of them are done. They got openers. They got the little wear deal at the bottom. And I don't know what all the technical terms are, but if they needed wear parts, they got wear parts. I didn't end up skimping on anything. So, got a bunch of chemical delivered today and a bunch of seed delivered today. It is March, I think, 18th today. And it's super cold. We were 75, 76 degrees a week ago, and it's gonna get down to like 25 tonight. So I wanna get the chemical in here, at least to, so it doesn't freeze. So we're gonna be opening up some doors here. I'm gonna sneak as much of it as I can in here. I don't love this. Really, I need this tractor out of my way, but it's not, so temporarily it's just gonna get packed in there as good as I can pack it in there for now. Anyhow, let's get with it. Oh, and I forgot the most important thing today. I bought cows today, and they're actually here now, so I'm not 1 cow away from a cowboy anymore. I got 5 heifers and a bull, and I plan on buying more, but that's what I got so far. There's 3 full pallets there, 6 full totes. I just put 8 pro boxes of beans in there. I've got 4 pro boxes of corn behind that. It's starting to get here. I've got about 2/3 of my chemical here, and about half my seed, so it's starting to trickle in. 2 more totes of or 2 more pro boxes coming of corn. and then some bags of corn coming as well, and then also getting I think about 8 or 10 more boxes of soybeans. And then I know one more tote of chemical coming and a couple pallets. And then my fungicide's not here yet either. I actually haven't bought that yet, so it's starting to trickle in. We're gonna close the shop first because I don't like burning heat. When I'm putting this stuff away, like I've got my micronutrients and stuff and a little bit of basically foo-foo juice and fungicides. Push them to the back. I'm gonna need them last. Got Roundup right here in these 2 totes. I've got 2,4-D and Dual behind that. Another tote of 2,4-D. So my burn down stuff is easy to get to. As far as that stuff, that's pretty well all post-emerge stuff. So Enlist, and I've got some corn herbicides, more foliars. Got a bunch of stuff from FBN this year just because they offered 0% financing on all of it. Their prices were super competitive, but beyond that, not just being competitive, I mean, they were cheaper or in the same ballpark as everybody else I quoted with. But the 0% financing is huge right now because operating money is 8-9%. So I am going to run, this is generic glufosinate, which is Liberty. It's generic Liberty. So I'm actually going to be running a half rate of Liberty with my Enlist this year, with Anthem Max and Roundup as my post-emerge soybean program. Anthem's a really good residual. Some of you have no idea what I'm talking about right now, but those of you that do, you do. Anthem's a really good residual. I've had good luck with it. But just to really smoke the water hemp and Maris Tail, I am spiking it with Liberty this year. Liberty's cheap this year. Last year it was outrageous. This year it was like $2.50 a gallon to run a half rate. So I'm just kind of throwing it in there as another note of action. But planting pine, I don't know what. I've got about half my beans here. I'm either growing seed beans or growing Pioneer beans. I don't know which yet. But the seed beans, I'm kind of wishy-washy on right now. But maybe growing them. But that'll be the other 8 or 10 boxes I get in. But these are Beck's beans here, which I give the Beck's guys a really hard time, but I do in fact grow some. I've got some 3.6s, some 3.3s, I think a 4.2, something like that. But got some DeKalb corn back here, some more bags. I'm actually really excited to try this number. It's supposed to be an absolute rock star this year. Unfortunately, it's pretty limited, so I was only able to get a little bit of it, but curious to see how it does. But I did get quite a few Beck's beans this year, strictly because they were just a damn good price on them. An Enlist bean is kind of an Enlist bean to me. What'll win one year won't win the next, and vice versa. I feel like their genetics just across the board on Enlist beans haven't got enough variation in them right now to really get too concerned about which brand you're planting. So yeah, I got some Beck's beans this year just strictly for the reason that they were a really, really good price compared to anybody else that I got a price from. So got those coming. Other than that, yeah, we got fungicide to get in yet, and I've got, so there's the first group there. 4 of them are Black Angus, and then got 5 heifers, 1 bull. You can see him there, which he's gonna get snipped, but the other ones, 2 of them may be bred, but I didn't get the guarantee. But they're pretty young, so if they are bred, they'll be calving late summer. But I'm gonna throw a bale out just because I really don't need to. There's a little bit of grass out here yet that they can eat on, but I don't know. I need to get rid of. I've got way more hay than I've got cows right now, so I figure it may not hurt to go ahead and throw one out here. So now we begin the good old balls of net wrap, pulling that off. But this is first cutting stuff. It's not terrible looking, especially when you get down in there. So I don't know, I figure I'll feed it first since it was the first stuff that got baled. But need to clean some junk up out here yet, but we'll get to that another day. Well, they've come up here and drank some water. They're eating on the bale, and that one keeps pushing on the gate. So 2 for 3, we'll give them that. I've got about, I don't know, 150 bushel left of white corn left in one of the hopper bottoms. I'm gonna drive it into one of the feed mills here locally, have them grind it and put it in that bulk bin there. And the nice thing is that bulk bin is right next to the J bunks, so I'll be able to just put it in a bucket and dump it right out over the fence into the J bunks and throw some mineral in it and all that, keep them happy. So looking forward to it. It's kind of fun having them back here. I've been sitting here for 45 minutes just doing nothing but just enjoy watching them for a while. I do miss having cows, but we used to keep them in with just a one single wire electric fence, and the last bunch we had were rambunctious and they weren't worth anything, so I got pissed off and decided to sell them. Now they're worth something and I have good fence, so corn's cheaper than it was last year, so I figure fatten out some calves up here in the front. These heifers I'll end up breeding. The bull is going to get banded. I'll probably put him in his own pen and buy some more steers and put them in their own pen, just so their rate of gain stays better, because even if you band them, I think they still want to chase cows. Basically keep the calves up here, and then I'm planning on still buying some bred cows or cow-calf pairs, one or the other, and turning them out on the rest of this in the back. So life's good. They are they seem to be really chill. They're happy. They'll walk right up to you. Hell, I pet one of them earlier, so they've got good temperament. That's the main thing. I will not keep rambunctious cows. If they're assholes, they will not stay on the farm. I will keep calm ones, and they all get a wild streak in them now and then, but I won't put up with any shenanigans out of them. I'll get rid of them before I do that. So hopefully we get a nice, calm, good, healthy group, and it's the start of something. I'd like to have about 50 head long term. Right now we have 6, but they're kind of expensive, so we'll run what we brung for a while.